So we made it all the way to 50. Yay for us. Feels pretty good actually. Didn't think I'd get this far, honestly. I thought, 20 would be sufficient, and then realized that this is actually pretty easy to do, and I'm keeping it so nonchalant and easygoing that I think I could just keep going on and doing this for a long time. Who knows how far we'll end up making. I guess, life stuff dependent, as long as I've got time to do it. But it's pretty laid back and it's pretty easy, and there's no end to the stuff that we can play with. I mean, we've got, 49 other sketches we could always open back up and alter and turn into something new. Yeah, there's just an endless supply of ideas. So speaking of ideas, I've got all these old school ideas from ages ago, and I wanted to bust out, let's see, this one right here. I just kind of previewed through them before starting the sketch. And that is just aggressive right out the gate. So let's just see what's going on here. Here, let me just hit this button here, and it looks like we're just going to start all these clips. And this will at least get something going immediately, so we can kind of hopefully figure out what is going on here. We could obviously read all this stuff. Who reads anymore, honestly? What a waste of time. No, but I'm gonna leave this all in here. This was left over from the generative class that I was teaching back in 2016, and there might be some information here that somebody down the road can get something out of. So this sounds pretty nuts. I guess these are our different song programs, and I'm gonna guess to say there's a ton of automations in each of these clips that is driving the sort of style and direction of each. Get this stuff out of the way here. Looks like our levels are okay. Cool. And so we've got this IDM one. Sounds more like TDM. Haha. So funny. So nerdy. All right, so let's try Chimes Broken. I like that one. I am curious where that one is coming from. I mean, I guess our FM noisemaker has all of the sections inside, all the different let's just peer inside one of these chains. Yeah, looks like for the IDM one, yeah, it's mostly just these drum, kick, snare, hat, bass. Well, it looks like also the melody is being, we're using all these. And let's see, what do we got going on note-wise? Okay, clever. We got the one note thing we've done before. I guess that one note is getting divided up here. Okay, so as long as that note is held, then we got this rate is dividing it up and chopping it up into a bunch of notes. It comes into here, and I guess this is where we are our probability gates for each of these. And I see we are pitching each one of these up to match with the pitches here. So that is all good and well. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe this is being turned on by one of these others. It's hard to say. So let's try chimes again. I like that. We'll come back to this later. It looks like we are getting stuff piped through a compressor effect. And we have this gain turning on every now and then. That's interesting. Let's see. So through bus. Wow, we are getting some serious spikes here. And I guess we just have a lot of stuff happening. So I'm going to go ahead and kill some things sorry, Rosalium, love you, but you gotta go. And let's go ahead and bump this way up. Hopefully we're not getting too many frame drops over here in OBS. It's hard to say. But yeah, so what we have here is a very beastly setup with a lot of options, a lot of different programs here. And we got our old tape effect. Yeah, that's classic. I see. So it looks like we're sending stuff through here and then pulling from there into here. So lots of effects. Probably more effects than anybody ever needs to have. And we got dry wet sec on 50%, so it could be no effects, you know, maybe that frees up some of our as much as I love a good spread of effects, you know, they can really stack up in terms of the CPU. Especially, I've noticed the feedback loops also do kind of seem to be costly. All right, so you know, this is a good starting point, I guess. There's plenty here. A lot of looks like still just one note on each of these, which is, you know, not for the faint of heart. You know, you have to sort of rely on automating, you know, MIDI gates as well as arpeggiators if you want to make that system work. But, you know, it can lend some interesting results. I feel like what I'm hearing now is somewhat interesting. And this is interesting. So I guess we have all our gates shut off for this one except the melody. And let's see, this feedback here, we have a sidechain. Yeah, this is from effects post mixer, so this is just feeding back into itself. That makes sense. This is coming from one FM song maker. That's this track here, and it looks like through post effects. That makes a bit of sense. Okay, cool. And then here we've got different effects setups. Now that's quite dramatic difference. Now let's see, where is this pulling audio from? Is it coming from through bus? I see. So I'm curious why this isn't just pulling audio straight from here, honestly. Empty planet full of junk. I see, so a bit of an ambient thing going on with that one. Yeah, this feedback effect here is really really pushing the cores on this MacBook Pro. But that's what you get when you're dealing with all DSP. It's you know, it can be hit or miss sometimes. Yeah, and I notice when using OBS, I mean, it says it's only using 6%, but who knows? These spikes are very potentially not good, but let's. Yeah, so I guess we got to pick a starting point here and kind of just run with it. But I do love this idea here, and I think this is a really good, at least starting point for a kind of framework where you can have a very clip-driven set of styles and moods, either for a live set or there's so many ways you can approach setting up generative pieces of music in Ableton that it's it's easy to go overboard. I think some of these tests that I did for the class were a bit egregious, trying to push the limits, and now that I'm going back through and looking into some of these, it almost is just overwhelming and difficult to figure out, what is actually going on. So, all right. So this is going to through bus. I see. So we're all routing to through bus, and then we end up summing from through bus. A little different than how we've been doing it in a lot of these sketches. Typically, we've just avoided audio tracks altogether, which is kind of funny, and has been, just one way to do it, one way of many. There's no one right way. I guess the easy way that lends the best sounding results is the right way. And let's try this one here. Cool. I almost kind of want to just see what we get here. Let's turn that off. Yeah, there's pushing some volume, some nice levels. Cool. Okay, so I wanted to pull in a Max for Live effect that I just discovered recently, and I'd actually downloaded it years ago but had not really touched it. I believe it is in here. Tempo 2. Yes, that is the one. I think that is an audio effect. I could be wrong. Let's try to see what we get. Yep, it's an audio effect. And let us put one of these MIDI LFOs here. And I think I want this to be real slow, and I want to map this to the tempo. So what this is doing is, oh, you can imagine what this is going to do. This is going to set our tempo. So we can use LFOs to control our tempo, which is always a good time. And let's use this random. And this might just sound a little too crazy in the end, but it's worth at least trying. So let's see, are we getting some changes there? I guess we need to, yes, cool. And it's nice because we have this slider here that, let's definitely pull the depth down here. So we don't need super crazy fast. Although, maybe you want that, and if that's the case, and if that's your jam, go for it for sure. Pull this down just a little. Cool. So let's see, we need to pull our offset down so that we are, there we go. So I liked a lot of the slower beats. Cool. So a lot more expressive at this point. Let's try some of these different effect setups. And I think we want to put this on none, just because otherwise, with some of these slow tempos, we're going to wait kind of a while. Let's definitely pull that up just to make sure we're going to get stuff happening above. Cool. And maybe a bit higher depth, maybe just a little bit up. Cool. Call this tempo LFO. Tempor. That's our tempor layer. Cool. I like what I'm seeing here. This kind of jumping around. Now, okay, we're full on. I guess I'm gonna delete this, and it's a. Let's see, what do we have going on here? We got a lot of corpuses happening, don't we? Yeah, and corpuses can be somewhat costly in terms of CPU. So let me pull that one out of there. We got corpuses on corpuses. All right, let's pull that down. Let's see, what are we getting here with this effect setup 1? No effects. And I believe this feedbacker is the same as what we've put in our racks under audio source generators tonal. I think it's this one. Let me just double check. I just want to make, if not, I want to go ahead and, oh, this is some other thing, I think. Let me, yeah, I believe. Okay, so I think this is actually a slightly different variation. And okay, so perhaps this is there's a lot of racks in here I'm going to be dragging over the next yeah, maybe it's this feedbacker. Cool. So let's pull this one into our main racks folder. Sound generators, tonal. Yeah, you're like boring. Come on, let's get to the chase. Where is the actual? But I find that, you know, in the middle of sketching, sometimes I got to do these little maintenance type things just to you know, help aid and abet the sketches down the road. So let's see. Maybe we actually, instead of and having these stay on these, when you hit the start, it just jumps to one and it stops. And maybe we want it to actually add follow action so that it randomly jumps to other ones, kind of in a more active fashion. But I think we actually have to get the follow action set up correctly. Yeah. So this. I do like the fits and starts as the tempo is sort of jumping up and down, doing its own thing according to these nifty LFOs. This is just a dry wet template. Get rid of that. Good old tape chew. Let's go ahead and get a limiter on the end of this. Well, it almost sounds like, you know, we've got a finished thing going on here. I did want to pull in one thing from an old school sketch. You know, it looks like, gosh, there's so many little things to jump around on. Focus, focus. Maybe get this thing out. So many little distractions. Yeah, some days when sketching, you know, it's a little easier to focus in than others. And I'm definitely hearing, gosh, I'm hearing a lot of potential ideas. It's a matter of like which ones get priority first. Wow, we're really pushing the bass through on that one. But I guess if we pull the overall gain down, then maybe it. I mean, that's a girthy bass kick, so can't fully complain about it yet. All right, so I wanted to also pull over this nifty little tone generator that I think was created during the improvs or the original tutorial series that I did so long ago. Yes, so this one makes a nice sort of almost random theremin-like or basic oscillator-like, using this random shape here and a feedbacked auto filter. Cool. Radio tonal. All right. Yep, I think we're done here. It's but we gotta alter some things, you know. We can't just use this completely verbatim. That would be boring. So, pardon me while I fumble about in life. Oh, looks like we've got a spread of timbres here. Different. Is there... It sounds like the drummer is really high on acid, or just a mad genius from the future doing some stuff that the world isn't ready for yet. Just definitely some abstraction going on in there. But I do like this sort of unpredictability of it. It does remind me of, you know, I used to hang out with some percussionists from the university back in Kentucky, where I grew up, and they were all into this abstract and experimental timing and yeah, I really want to manipulate the sound of this melody maker. scales. So we're gonna for sure record that. And watch our CPU just freak out and hope that this video is not super botched. I feel like the kick could use a bit of a random velocity. It seems to be kind of, as far as I can hear, it's kind of like the same volume level. Yes, let's automate that. Gotta keep an ear out for opportunities when moving knobs around. You gotta be really cognizant of what's happening, and if it makes sense or sounds interesting, try to remember what you were doing so that when you hit that session automation record button on, you can try to re-emulate a bit of what you were doing. Of course, the way I'm recording here into all these clips, you know, we're gonna get something far more random and generative out the other side. So in this case, there was no real trying to remember exactly what moves we had made. So this bass needs just a little love. Let's bust out, say, like a minus 12 here. Although we have some interesting. Now that I'm looking deeper, we've got two different scales, and they're being controlled inside of different chains. And this one is just so we have a scale and a non-scale, and so looks like we're jumping between them. That's a cool idea. So we could really have as many scales, different scales in here as we wanted, and with this knob just, you know, flip between different types of scales. That would be an interesting idea for a setup where we had a lot of control over the different types of melodies that we could get out of our timbre section. Just aggressive and strange. But somebody out there probably thinks that's interesting. Who knows? One man's trash is another man's treasure, I guess, as they say. Let's yeah, we need to modulate that one so we get some of those tones coming through there. And definitely got to get a sidechain compression on this melody so that the beats kind of push it down a little bit. It does feel like it's competing a little too much with everything at times. So let's just sidechain it from FM Songmaker, and maybe the kick. We'll just have the kick. Yeah, post mixer. And this one I wanted to also sidechain from the kick. apologies in advance if there are hiccups on this video. I really should do more tests, you know, when I'm pulling in some of these beastly old sets, but at least you can open this thing up on your own and, you know, if the video is just a mess, a train wreck, at least you can, you know, open this up on your own leisure and study it and take some of the ideas from it and re-synthesize them in your own way. Hopefully re-synthesize them in your own way. Can't talk. Goodness. Brain equals fried. Some days are easier than others. That is for sure. Some days it's a struggle. Yeah, maybe the CPU spiking is getting straight into my head. And we could do different things to go through and try to clean up some of these, you know, we can turn off some things. Like, I know this feedbacker is certainly eating up a lot of our, using a lot of juice. Cool. Yeah, I do appreciate this compressor on there. I think it really helps because the melodies can be a bit loud overall. So maybe we'll drag that down just a bit. Nice. And maybe this feedback we can turn off. Curious if that was actually doing anything. It probably was. Yeah, let's see what happens if I pull in my slurp. This could be a disaster, although I don't remember it being too CPU intensive. It does kind of add a nice bit of high end. I like it. It's almost a subliminal. It really makes the whole thing feel real slimy. I'm afraid that we lost something here. I had a clip here. Jeez. You're just on a roll. I just deleted it somehow. Who knows? And I had that wet and dry pulling down every now and then. And I think we can go ahead and modulate this as well. Definitely gotta play with the rate. Definitely gotta play with all of these knobs. It sounds wrong. Just so wrong. Alright, cool, cool. Well, definitely a lot of variety with this whole setup here. still am feeling that this melody is just a bit too in your face, and maybe it needs a limiter or something right on the end. We've already got this compressor, but maybe I'll just play with the limiter and see. And probably some stereo on there. Does that work? I wonder. How about a little cheese in there? I guess this tone, as far as I'm hearing, it sounds like it's kind of grounding things or sort of holding things together a little bit when you have this beat just like falling apart in the middle of outer space. This radio tonal is kind of just floating around. So something like this steady drone right here is almost doing a nice thing of creating a grounding or a centering of sorts. I could just be crazy on that, but it feels that way. Of course, as soon as I start throwing on effects, you know, it's going to start wilding it out. Almost sounds like strange voices occurring, which made me think about our cheesy vocal sound. Oh man, yep. I can't even remember now which sketch we had pulled this one in originally. Let's try a vocoder here. And pull it from the voice layer. Maybe sends only on that. Okay, cool. Let's get some weirdness going on with that transpose. And maybe we'll play with some other... I like the texture one because you have the option to play with grain size and flux, and you can get some weird wild stuff happening with those options. I wish you could animate the formants and envelopes of the Complex Pro. I really do. I don't know why they didn't include that option in there, but they didn't. I would use the heck out of it if it was an option. Yeah, we gotta also play with that actual vocoder. Yeah, grain size, yes. Last but not least, unlink you. Okay. Kind of just sounds like a dirty old radio off in the background. It's very odd, whatever's happening there, whatever's coming through vocoder. Let's play with some chorus on that, some stereo. I don't... Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, it sounds like, because we have to set the stereo, we're gonna get... Put this right here. Oh, that was odd. Cool. I'm liking where that's heading. Some aleatoric, alien sounding vocal nonsense. It's nice to be able to take an old sketch and revitalize it, dust it off after the years, and take it somewhere totally different than where it was before. I mean, it's not 100% different, but it's definitely a lot more interesting than it was, in my opinion. But then my tastes are pretty far out. I guess if you're actually, you know, watching this silly video, putting up with drop frame rates and bad production quality, and you probably can appreciate some lo-fi and experimental and more far out ideas. Cool. So yeah, I think it's good to go. Maybe just one more. This is the classic move. Yeah, I think I'm done. Oh wait, I gotta get back in there because I heard one silly like little thing to change. All right. So I think for this one, the big fun takeaway, besides having a lot of clips set up with different settings and sort of cycling through them randomly with follow actions, which I guess we've done a lot of before, but this particular sketch already has a lot going on. I mean, I think if we pull one of these club basement, yeah, like this one I think is kind of more of a this is more of a standard beat, I think. That is just super weird. Cool. Well, there's definitely a lot of options here. We could even add more melodic type stuff. Could go all kinds of crazy places with this, but for now, as a textural, aleatoric, just fun-loving, weird type of piece, I feel pretty good about it. Sweet. So I guess until next time, take it easy, keep sketching, keep it weird.